Moving forward, we're now to the individual assignment following the previous discussion board. As we move into the individual assignment, a new set of soft skills will be studied, and that's really what we're going to get into, is soft skills related to electronic communication. In the discussion board, we established a management system for you as project engineers that will increase your productivity and professionalism as a hard skill. In this side of the game, we're going to actually look at the soft skills associated with this electronic communication. And if we look at the whole subject of emails, we can actually see there is a distinct difference between both the hard skills and the soft skills. And here again, we've talked about hard skills and soft skills throughout this module or throughout this class. So I think everybody's fairly familiar with that thought process. This is more the what you as an individual does versus your just everyday type skill sets that everybody's expected to have. So looking back at the discussion board, we can see that we were mainly working on hard skills. We were establishing a management plan to the process of electronic communication that allowed you to streamline your daily work process. And, the idea was to make you extremely productive. The majority of that process is hard skills, which once you put them into place, you just continue to fine tune it. So, we established, let's try and check our emails only 3 times a day. You may be able to fine tune that you really want a very big effort and a focus in the mornings, not much in the afternoons, and a hard one in the evening. Or you might find that the middle of the day is your best day to really hit the most focus and then kind of tailor off by the end of the day. That's all part of fine-tuning the process, but at least that hard skill of being organized to do it 3 times a day is already in place. All right, but how we've seen throughout all the previous modules, it's the soft skills that is the hardest thing for us to master. It's a lot like nonverbal communication, about the most important of all soft skills. How do we understand that? And the more we understand it, that's what makes you a success as a project engineer, because we're really tapping into your own individual skills and how well you can really fine-tune that within that mind of yours that sets it apart from other people in the industry. So in the previous written communication module, which was PE100 Mod 3, we worked through the process of hard skills of grammar and spell checking. And, we went through white smoke and we learned how to do grammar and spell checking very simply by just hitting an F2 key. And so we have already established that. And those apply equally as well, or even more so, in your emails, because you're going to be able to type out your emails very rapidly, hit your F2 key, make sure you correct all your grammar, and then off you go. And then in the written communication module, we really did talk about active versus passive voice. And in emails, it is even more important to be active, because you're trying to resolve an issue very quickly and very concisely. And you can't do that by being kind of passive. And it appears that if we do this, instead you really have to be active and says, by following the criteria we've established herein, this will produce that. So that's your active versus passive. And then when you get a reply from an active email that you've created, you now have a true approval on that, instead of sort of a wishy-washy, well, he was kind of passive, so I'll be passive in approving it. And then at the end of the day, if something goes wrong, you're both going to argue about it. So using that active voice will really help you in avoiding future issues with your clients, because you are stating the way it is, and they either agree with it or they don't. And if they decide to be very passive about it, that's fine. You at least establish the plan, and then you work the plan that you established. So there's no harm or foul in that type of thing. So in emails, you're going to see a lot of that active voice really meaning a lot to you. And then in this module, we're going to kind of tailor the previous studies that we've done all the way from modules 0 through 4 or through 3 into this study to help you on the electronic side of things, with more emphasis on how well you can communicate concisely and logically. Because emails are the epitome of really condensing this stuff into very quick and concise management issues that you resolve by the hour, by the minute, or by the days. So rather than us getting into a lot of technicalities, we're just really going to use a lot of the stuff we learned in the previous studies, and then fit them in with the electronic side of things so that you guys get a better idea of how to make your emails the best they can possibly be. So from there, we're going to move into Chapter 2.